Hello viewers! Welcome to day 190 of my PvZ2 series where I play Piñata Party every day so you can beat every level. This level seems like a very simple vasebreaker on the outside, but it's actually nearly impossible to beat without using power-ups, such as Butter Zombie or Move Vase, or using coins to buy plant food. But after 25 attempts, I finally managed to beat it on the 26th. And I sure learned a lot about this level, which I will share every detail with you. But firstly, let's get to know our level. The plants that we'll be getting are 5 Snapdragons, 3 Chili Beans, and 3 Stunions, while the zombies are as follows: 4 Coneheads, 2 Seagulls, 1 Bucket Head, and the rest are Hot Dog Imps. We also get a single plant food, which is very useful when used right. Now, while I work through 25 attempts in the background, let's discuss what I've learned. And then on the 26th, I'll show you how they all come together. Firstly, we need to know the strengths and limits of our attackers, the Snapdragons. Snapdragons are very weak at level 1. A single Snapdragon cannot defeat a Hot Dog Imp. A Hot Dog Imp needs 2 Snapdragons to defeat. A Conehead needs 3 Snapdragons, or 2 Snapdragons and a Stunion, or a Chili Bean to defeat. Same goes for the Seagull Zombie, needing either 3 Snapdragons, 2 Snapdragons and Stunion, or a Chili Bean. But a Seagull Zombie can also be defeated by 2 Snapdragons if one of them is sacrificed. The time it takes for the Seagull Zombie to eat the first one gives just enough time for the 2 of them to defeat the Seagull Zombie. However, that is not a good option. It's good to know, but not good to use, since we still have to consider the other zombies. And finally, the Buckethead only has 2 ways of being defeated, either by Snapdragon plant food or a Chili Bean. Now that we know what is required to defeat the zombie successfully, we're going to need to plant in a way that increases our chances of meeting the requirements to defeat the zombies. Because luck is a huge factor in beating Vasebreaker, it's likely that you'll get a horrible roll of initial plants. But we have 2 Snapdragon formations that I find particularly effective. Formation A. We plant 4 Snapdragons, 2 on the second lane, and 2 on the fourth lane. Begin on the first column, as far away from the vases as possible, because we need to give our Snapdragons as much space and time to attack as we can. Prioritize having 2 on the same lane first, before planting on the other. This guarantees that we'll be able to deal with most zombies, if given the appropriate supporting plants, within the 3 lanes that the Snapdragons cover. I like Formation A, because it gives us a very powerful central lane, where we can freely break the vases without having to worry too much, as all zombies, aside from Bucketheads, can be defeated with 3 or more Snapdragons. Having a powerful central lane like this increases our chances of getting a plant or plant food that we need, such as more Snapdragons or Chili Bean. Formation B, on the other hand, is where we stay on the back column, and plant our Snapdragons as so. This makes it so that all lanes have 2 Snapdragons to deal damage, and also lowers the risk of having both Snapdragons eaten if a zombie appears on one of the lanes. Keep in mind that we get 5 Snapdragons, so the 5th Snapdragon can be used as either a replacement for a Fallen Dragon, or as extra damage in the case of Coneheads or Seagulls, as they both require 3 Snapdragons to defeat. These formations are only suggestions, and can be mixed and matched based on your situation. The only rule I have is to never plant Snapdragons on the middle lane, because the middle lane is where the fire from the second and fourth lane converge, making it already very strong and protected. Instead, prioritize the lanes on the sides, i.e. the first and fifth lane, as they are much weaker. Secondly, we have Stunion Placement. We only get 3, so we must use them wisely. Remember that PvZ2 is dual touch, so we can keep a finger on the seed packets and break vases at the same time, preserving the seed packets and stopping them from disappearing. We have 2 particular scenarios where we want to use Stunion. The first is for dealing with the zombie directly in front of our Snapdragons, and second is for dealing with Coneheads and Seagull zombies. Try to time the Stunion so that it stuns the zombie, or zombies if you're skilled enough, within the fire range of 2 or more Snapdragons. This will make the zombie die faster, because of obvious reasons. And finally, we have the Chili Beans. Chili Beans can be used as an alternative Stunion in the worst situations, but generally, you want to save them for Coneheads or Bucketheads. However, they have another use in the start. You see, we want to maximize our chances of getting Snapdragons. So by using the Chili Bean's lane-wide stunning, we can use this chance to break all the vases behind a zombie in a lane, in the hopes that we get Snapdragons that will defeat all the zombies that we've revealed. We typically want to do this on the center lane, where we have the most attack power if using Formation A. But in theory, you can do this on any lane, especially if your starting plants do not include a Snapdragon. But if you already have a Snapdragon on the lawn, it's better to do it within the 3 lanes that the Snapdragon covers. 4 times out of 10, you will get at least 1 plant out of it. It is a huge gamble, but it brings great returns if you time it correctly and it works in your favor. If you still don't quite understand what this strategy is or how to do it, don't worry, because here is my 26th attempt where I managed to do everything right. I won't do any editing on this run, so you can analyze the entire run yourself, but I will do a bit of voiceover to explain my thought process. Starting the level, I broke the vases one by one, so that I wouldn't need to juggle around too many seed packets at once. Probing the 3rd vase did not result in a Snapdragon, so I decided to gamble with the Chili Bean, breaking a single vase at the very front, then letting the imp eat the bean. Right before he toots, I broke every other vase in that lane, letting the imp stun them all, and also resulting in the successful obtaining of another Snapdragon. Seeing the cone head and the lack of 3 Snapdragons to defeat it, I pre-planted my Stunion to help deal with it. Then breaking the last plant vase gave me another Chili Bean. To maximize my chances of getting a Snapdragon, I chose the lane with the most vases available, which gave me another huge success, obtaining both the plant food and another Snapdragon to aid in the defense of the middle and 4th lane. I took a small gamble on the vase there, which resulted in another Snapdragon, but I couldn't plant it in Formation A due to how close the zombies were on the 4th lane, so I went for Formation B instead, and using the Chili Bean as an alternative Stunion. Obtaining another Stunion meant I could safely break the vase closest to my other Snapdragon. And now is when the plant food comes in. Knowing that I had spent every Chili Bean and Stunion, I knew that the bucket head had to be in one of these vases. And whichever one it is, I will use Snapdragon's plant food effect to take all the zombies around it down at once. Now that the entire top half is cleared, I knew that one of the last 3 vases had to contain the final Snapdragon, and breaking them all was the fastest way of getting it, because I needed 3 Snapdragons to defeat the final conehead. Finally, the math added up, and 3 Snapdragons was what it took to defeat the final conehead to beat the level. What a journey, and I hope you've learned something too. I'd love to hear what you did to beat this level down in the comments. Surely you didn't cheat with the power-ups, did you? Well, anyways, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe. Goodbye.